This is the Next Chapter podcast. This is our final episode of the year of 2025. I'm graduating. This is my last day. And I am here with my spiritual successor.
I'm Billy Pacheco. Thank you for having me, Logan.
Oh, of course. So today we're kind of changing it up. Billy's interviewing me. She's taking over the podcast. So yeah, go right on ahead, Billy.
So, Logan, I would like to know before we kick off and everything, what are you going to do after high school?
So I have a complicated series of events. So I'm going into the Army, but I'm also becoming an EMT. And so I'm waiting for a waiver to pass. So I leave later in the year than most people would. Most people leave like right after they graduate. I have to wait for a waiver to pass. So I'm going much later in the year. And so before I go, I'm going to PCC to become an EMT.
So when you get into the Army, you said you're being an Army medic?
Yeah, combat medic.
So you're going to deploy and everything and like be an actual medic?
Yeah, I'll be active duty.
So was there anything in your schooling that made you decide like that you wanted to be an Army medic? Because I know like most people, when they say like, oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse, I want to be like something, it's usually like something in their like high school career
high school.
that helped them.
So fun fact, actually, I did not take a medical class until my senior year. And I took anatomy this year. Shout out to Miss L. She's the GOAT. But I didn't take one. And I never really thought, I've always wanted to be an EMT, but I never really contributed to being in the medical field. Like I know it is, but it's a lot different than like a nurse or a doctor is.
Yeah.
And because I don't think I could work in a hospital. It's just not my type of setting. It's not the type of stuff I want to do. But yeah.
So, like you said, you took a medical class your senior year. That's the only class that you took.
That's the only one I took, and I took it because my counselor was like, "You should take that." I was like,
so if you never had anything like any class wise, like what made you want to go into the Army medic field?
That's actually a really good question, and so I wanted to be an EMT since I was a kid, and the military popped up in my life junior year. I'd applied when I was like 14 or 15. And so I turned 17 last year. And so they messaged me, they got a hold of me. And I was doing research and I figured out almost the same thing. Of course, completely different things. I'm not comparing it, but they're very similar. Being a combat medic is close to being an EMT/paramedic. And the military also has all the benefits of they pay for your schooling, uh, healthcare, retirement, all that stuff. You stay in long enough, all that stuff. And so that's the main reason why I joined the Army, to be a combat medic. But yeah.
Do you have any plans after the Army? Because are you gonna go for like the 6 years or?
Yeah, I think that's right now. I don't really especially know. When I first swear in, I'm gonna go 6 years. I think that's my plan. But just depending on how it goes, I'll either go longer or I'll just get out after my 6 years. Then again, a lot of people have a hard time getting out after 6 years, but I think more than likely 6 years.
Are you excited for it?
I think excited is a strong word. I think it's something I'm looking forward to because I get to go away and do other stuff.
It'll be a different part of like the world you'll see.
Oh, very much so. And I'm glad I'm looking forward to the experience. I know there's gonna be some really, really rough times, but I'm looking forward to it.
Do you do well with like people being so upfront and telling you what you're doing wrong? Or if you are doing anything wrong?
Yeah. I think so. Of course. I know once you release the episode, somebody will tell me that no, I don't take it well. And they're probably
your
right.
Your parents are gonna watch it and be like, Logan, like, come on.
I told you to take the trash out the other day.
You told me no.
And you threw a hissy fit. I was like, oh damn. But no, I think I personally take it well, especially from people who I see as like my senior or my superior. I think I take it pretty well from them.
That'll be good. I mean, that's definitely gonna be. It's gonna be. I feel like it'll help you grow even more as a person.
I hope so.
Because in general, like high school, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's so hard if the teachers are on you," but it's like they're not really.
Oh no, they're not.
Compared to what the real world, like everything that I've dealt with, they're not even close to being on you like that.
They're really not. No.
But like, it'll be a completely different experience, and you'll come out either being like traumatized or you'll be like.
Yeah, but like my dad said that he was like, military will either make you or break you. I really hope it makes me.
You're like,
and doesn't shatter me into a million pieces.
Well, I mean, do you know if you have to like go do basics and everything? Like, normal,
So
like, training to be an actual soldier before the
yeah.
medic part?
So I go to basic training like everybody else, and then after basic training, I get more training than everybody else. And I go to I would not necessarily a medical school, but a medical training, because I'm not being a nurse or a doctor, so it's not less of like, oh, I have to get a degree in
Yeah.
medical, but more of a training, just kind of like how EMT is. It's like a 9 months training.
So you were saying how you plan on being an EMT before you go
Mhm.
off to, the military. Do you think that'll help you at all?
I hope so. That's kind of like what I'm hoping is that it'll help me.
It'll give you, like, an
And
advancement.
yeah, it'll give me an advantage of some
Mhm.
sort in the field, but I don't know. I like I said earlier, I wanna compare the 2, but I don't really know. Like, I know a lot about being an EMT and, like, I've done ride-alongs, et cetera, but combat medic, I don't really know. You know what I mean? So as much as I say, "Oh, yeah, it's similar," it really could be completely different.
Who knows? I mean, it'll also be, like, a good trip for you even if you, like
Oh, yeah.
when you do, like, go into the field and everything, it's gonna
Mhm.
be a different experience for you, and you'll see, like, all the different parts of the world.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
So, do you think there was a teacher at here like, here at County that
Mhm.
really, like, helped you, like, sculpt your decision? Because I know that, like, some people, like
Yeah.
most, like, teachers, like, people who wanna be teachers have, like, usually, like, one teacher in their, like, whole school career, it's like,
Oh,
"I wanna be like you. I
I've
wanna do what you do."
I've got a few, I'm not gonna lie. Like, of course, they were all the way I look at it is that I've had one of those, like, big teachers in my life every year, 'cause I've never had Pacheco in broadcasting is the only teacher I've ever had that's been repeating throughout the years.
Mhm.
Pacheco's one of those people. Pacheco's pushes me harder than most people have, especially with this podcast. He's pushed me really, really
Shout
hard.
out Mr. Pacheco.
Yeah, shout out Mr. Pacheco. Like earlier, Miss Cell's great. I love Miss Cell. Mr. McKenzie,
I liked
I
Mr.
love that
McKenzie.
guy.
He was so cool.
I'm calling him out. He told me I was gonna be his TA senior year, and then he leaves my senior year. I was so
Oh,
angry. Miss Stevens, Miss
Miss Stevens is
Baker.
a goat.
Miss Baker's also the go. I don't want to leave any teachers out and make them upset. Grossen's another good one. Math teachers, I was never good at math, so they're cool people.
They're nice, but it's like you're
I
that's
I I,
not
I never
the
I never enjoyed the class, so
Yeah.
but yeah, all my English teachers, shout out to them. That was probably my best subject, so shout out to English. I love that. I love those classes. I just had Pacheco, Muso is also another big one. But yeah, I loved most of my teachers throughout high school. I had very few issues with any like teachers.
Yeah. I feel like that's with most people also.
I hope so.
But
It's kind of you are the issue if a teacher has like a
yeah.
massive problem with. Okay, it depends on the teacher,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
if most teachers, if they have an issue with
Majority
you,
of the
you're
ones
the
here at
problem.
least
Yeah,
are
you're the problem
yeah.
if they have an issue with you.
Do you think that you'd be going to, like, something completely different if you went to a different high school? Because I
Yeah.
know, like, people who, like, I went to elementary school with,
Mhm.
and, like, I've grown up with, like, throughout the years, but it's like they go to, like, off to, like, West or, like, East or something, not dissing those, but
Not
they
dissing
become,
those.
like, completely different person like, people, and that's, like, that's them. That's perfectly
That is
fine.
them.
But do you think that would have affected you?
I was thinking about that the other day, actually. I was like, imagine how different my friends and stuff would be. And I think yes, simply just because of all of my friends and stuff, I wouldn't have grown up and became an adult with all these people that I
Yeah.
have currently. And a lot of those people have like shaped who I was gonna be. Big shout out to like Devin Meyer, my best friend since like fourth grade. Love that guy. And like without him, I wouldn't be the same person that I was now. And that goes for like a lot of my other friends as well. Like most of all of my friends, they have contributed something to me becoming the person I am
Mhm.
currently.
What do your friends and your family think about you going off to the military? Because I know you were saying the other day how your girlfriend's not, like,
Oh,
excited at all.
my girlfriend was not too happy about it. She was like, "I don't want you to do this." And I
And you're
was
like
like, "This is kind of what I want to do though." But she's like, "If you want to do it, I'm going to
she's gonna be
support you."
supportive.
Yeah, exactly. She was like, "I," and it's not that like she's like she doesn't want me to do it. She's just scared
Yeah, 'cause that is,
of
like, a big
she's
commitment,
scared of
and
the
it's, like,
implications and
with,
like
the what ifs.
yeah, and she put it into perspective. Like think about it this way: it's like if I go even for 3 years, our kid's gonna be 3. Like a kid would be 3,
Yeah,
and like not saying that we'd have a kid, but that kid would be 3.
yeah,
You know
so
what
it's
I
like
mean? Like if I left when he was just born, he'd be 3. So that's a good time perspective on it.
mhm,
And like 6 years even more. Like a 6-year-old, like that's
that's a whole, like,
crazy.
a human.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's weird to think about. My parents, my dad was just kind of like, "Hey, if this is what you want to do, do it. Like, I'll support you." My mom was kind of like, "No, you're not doing
That
that."
makes sense though, because it's like you're your mom's baby,
Yeah,
like
mom and dad. Yeah, I was
yeah.
also the firstborn.
Yeah, so it's like
So,
it's like your oldest
yeah.
leaving you.
And so, yeah, my mom was like, "No," but at the time I had to my parents signed all the papers because I was still underage. So I thank them for that. But and most of my friends were just like, "Yeah, man, like that's really cool." And like I even got a few friends to come enlist with me. So
That's cool. Did you ever have, like, a moment in high school and, like, in the whole process of signing up for the military where you're like, "I don't know if I want to." Like, second guessing yourself into, like, not making a full-on decision.
yeah, I think I don't think there was an exact moment. I think over time, like while I was doing the whole process, there was a few times where I was like, "Damn, do I really want to do this?
You're like,
Is this really what I want to put my life to for the next few years?" And I was like, "You know what? Yeah, like yeah, let's do it, man." And I haven't had a thought like that in a while of like, "Hey, should I back out?" No, I'm dead set on as soon as I can, I will and swear in and be active. And yeah.
do you in your because I know that you, like, you were in different parts of the county, like, your whole
Oh,
career.
yeah.
Like, you were in drama, I know that, and you played
Yeah,
a
I
few
was in
different
drama.
sports. Was there, like, a class where it's like, if you weren't gonna go to the military, that you were like, "I wanna do something in this."
Mm,
Like, I know for me, I've already kinda
yeah.
decided what I wanna do, but I always thought about it, I was like, "What if I go to college to be, like, a news reporter?"
Yeah,
Or something like that.
that's actually a good
Was
one.
there anything like that that you had?
Drama was a big one. Of course, I think everybody, like, if I could be a big time actor,
Everyone would say
I'd be an
yeah.
actor. Yeah, I
Everyone would
was
be
gonna
like, "Yeah."
say, if I was good enough at acting to be like a Hollywood actor, man, in a heartbeat. Um, for a time there, I really wanted to be, journalist. There was a time there when I wanted to be a journalist.
Did you ever take,
Um,
journalism with Miss Fodor?
mm-mm, I did not, but a lot of my English classes incorporated into them. What's another one? Like, archaeologist too. That's because I
Archaeology's
took,
cool.
like, things like AP Gov and
Yeah.
stuff like that, like, these big history classes.
Which are honestly underrated. Everyone talks about, like, TAA, SEABS, and, like, AMAC, all
Mhm.
those programs, but General County has, like, a lot of, like, good
Oh,
classes that you
yeah.
take. Like, I'm taking criminology right now, and if I didn't already decide what I wanna
Mhm.
do, I'd probably go for criminology.
Oh, yeah. We even excluding all of our different branches, we have so many good classes just overall. So keep that in mind for freshmen that, like, "Hey,
There's
man,
so much you
there's
can
so
do.
much you
Even
can
as long
do."
like, the farther you get into high school, it
Definitely.
just get, like, the more
And
opportunities.
you can be in even multiple branches. Like, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, "Hey, imagine if I took welding."
Like, you're like, "I could."
Yeah, imagine if I was in AMAC and took welding.
Well, that's the cool thing because 'cause you're part of the SEAVES program, right? Because it's,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
through broadcasting, we're part of the SEAVES program,
Yeah.
and then you were saying how you had Miss Baker, and she's, like,
Yeah.
pretty much, like, SEAVES inclusive, like,
She is.
exclusive.
She doesn't really teach
Yeah,
anybody else in the Steve Clips.
but
Or
you're,
really like that.
like then you're also doing, like, drama
Mhm.
and, like, in the actual arts academy, and, like,
Yeah.
that's the cool thing because you can do more than, like, one big
Oh, yeah.
topic.
And I was, of course, it was a weird thing, but even throughout SEEBS, I changed multiple. I was in computer science when I started. I went to digital animation. In my junior year, I ended up in here in broadcasting. But even in the branch itself, just the branch, I zoomed around everywhere. But yeah, no, shout out to drama and
Miss Morgan is she's very
yeah,
sweet.
so that was I took that class for 3 years and this is the only year I haven't taken it. And I loved that class. I loved the experiences I got out of it. And yeah.
I think that program in itself is also, like, just very
Oh yeah, the whole band and drama kids are so cool.
it's a program that's, like, actively growing.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, I get that we say that about, like, every program because there's not, like, a program at County that just
Mhm.
stops, but, like, they are without a doubt becoming, like, one of the more, like,
Oh
prominent.
yeah.
Because when you talk about, like, County, people are like, "Oh my god, TAA, like, the Arts
TAA.
Academy."
Yeah, there's a
Like
lot of kids that are currently into that stuff.
oh,
So
yeah.
it's yeah, it's always growing. And that's honestly the main like look for our school is SEEBS and TAA.
There's big 3 branches.
Yeah, we have a good band We have a good drama. Our plays are usually pretty good.
The musicals
Um,
are great.
yeah, the musicals are great. And then we have Siebes as well, which
Mhm.
for people who want to go into the medical field, Siebes is a really nice thing to have.
Even without, like, even if you're not wanting to go in the medical field.
It's time to wake up, guys. Let me see if I have any more, but continue.
But, like, even if you're not wanting to go in the medical
Mhm.
field, Siebes is just, like, something you can do to even, like, get a, like, knowledge of what you wanna do.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I know that you're part of the Siebes program,
Yeah.
and so, like, through that, you get this class, and, like, you can still
Mhm.
take this class even if you're not,
Oh, yeah.
and I think next year we're gonna be in TAA class.
Yeah. I'm
But do
not
you
sure.
think that, like, being in Siebes gave you, like, a good outlet? Because without that, like, you
Mhm.
wouldn't have built this podcast and, like, been able to talk to so many people that
You're
you,
right.
like, knew and
Yeah,
they
that I've
like, that
talked
you wouldn't
to.
have ever known if you didn't have it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the main things about the podcast was that I did talk to people that I never thought I'd be talking to, or people that I've been talking to for years, and I'd learned new stuff about them talking to them on the podcast. And so I definitely do think Siebes has given me opportunities, and I'm extremely lucky to be given those opportunities. But yeah, I mean, I also it's like a community. I was lucky my sophomore and freshman year that I was almost basically only in here. Like for I think 1 or 2 classes, both those years is I would leave and then come back, and I was like for like math or something. But I was almost always in Siebes, doing something in Siebes, and so I'm really lucky, and I'm glad I have the community because I love the teachers and the people around here.
I'd also say they're probably one of the more supportive,
Mhm.
like, people at County.
No,
Like,
oh
don't get me
yeah,
wrong, everyone at County, all the teachers, they are very
oh
supportive.
yeah.
But, like, I feel like I'm not a Seeps, like, kid, like, this is my
Mhm.
only class in Seeps, but even, like, Miss Oliger, Baker, like, I've never
Yeah.
had them, but they've always been like, "Oh, like, do you need help with this?" Like, when we're doing, like, live streams,
Mhm.
if the door is, like, stuck, like, pushing out the cart, they'll be like, "Oh, I got you, like, here you
Oh
go."
yeah.
But was there, like, ever a teacher like, I know I asked you like this, that,
Mhm.
like, if you didn't have them, like, you don't think that you would have made it through, like, high
Mr.
school?
McKenzie. I definitely think I had him freshman year.
Mhm.
And so I think that's why, because I love those, like, as I said, I love all those teachers, but I had all of those teachers much later in my years. And Mr. McKenzie I had, he was my freshman English teacher, and he really pushed me to actually,
He, like, showed you a new part of, like, what you could
yeah.
do.
And of course, and he welcomed me to high school and showed me the ropes. And he was also just a really supportive guy, also just a cool guy to talk to. Very cool guy to talk to. But yeah.
And, Mackenzie he was a gem.
Oh, he was a gem. He was way too smart to be teaching English in high school,
Oh,
though.
yeah, without a
Almost all of
doubt.
our English teachers are way too smart to teach. Shout out to you guys,
Yeah,
because I don't know why you guys could be like at least teaching college. I don't know why you guys are here.
but I mean, I feel like that's a reason why people at County do, like, so well in a
Mhm.
sense. Like, we have those teachers who are, like, there
Oh yeah,
and are,
so
like
welcoming.
yeah. Would you say that, like, were you terrified your first day of high school?
Oh, my first year, that was. You guys think that was wild
4
going
years
down?
ago.
I gotta think. I don't think so. I was pretty. I had my friend group locked in. Like I had my friends
You knew who
set.
you're gonna be
Yeah,
with.
I knew who I was gonna hang out with. I had friends in my classes. I was really lucky. I'm also a pretty talkative kid, so I didn't
We
have a
can
hard
tell.
time. Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. So it wasn't really hard making new friends that I still have to this day. And so no, I don't think I was.
Well, going back to the whole, like, military and,
Mhm.
like, army, are you, like I know we're talking, like, a lot about, like, fear, but are you scared for going for it? Because I know, like, a lot of people, their big thing, like, when you talk about going to the army, they're like, "Oh my
Mhm.
god, you're gonna, like, you're gonna die." Like, that's
Yeah,
what
you're
everyone,
gonna
like,
step
thinks,
on an IED.
and you're gonna, like, explode. But, are also, like, a lot of the, like, actual people I talk to are, like, signing
Mhm.
up, like, registering for or, I don't know the word for it, but
Yeah.
going into, like, the army or some branch of the military, they're not afraid of it. Is there anything that, like, you're like, "I can do this," and not be afraid of it?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have the same fear that other people have. Like the people that like the fear that people have for me, I do not get at all. And I don't and like as I said, my friends who have enlisted, I don't really have that fear for them either. Of course, it's a thought, but it's not a fear per se.
I'd also say right now there's not really anything, like,
Yeah.
too crazy
There's
going
nothing
on,
too crazy
at least
going
in America.
on. At least in
Yeah,
America. That is a good way to put it.
yeah.
But I don't have the fear. I also really have like I really crave adrenaline. and I
So
wanna
you
chase
like the
that.
high stress, like,
Oh, yeah. I
situations.
love chasing that adrenaline.
Is that why you chose, like not to say that, like, doctors and nurses don't already have that adrenaline, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
like the higher up, like, you wanna being, like, in the field and you wanna,
Yeah.
like, be hands-on and, like, be and have that, like, feeling. Do you think that's the reason why you, like, chose to be a combat medic or instead of, like, a doctor or a
I
nurse?
probably think so. I like being there and, like, actually saving people. Like, not saying doctors and nurses don't save people, but I am, like, proactively bringing
You wanna be, like, the
them.
last, like, resource kinda,
Yeah,
or,
I
like, the
like
first one that's there, the
the
first
first one
one that
that's there, and I wanna be on that scene, and I'm really big on that type of stuff. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, that is a big reason.
so you chose the adrenaline instead of, like, the 'cause I'm not saying that, like, nurses and doctors don't have that,
Yeah.
but, I mean, it's a lot more safer and less, like, high risk, I guess,
Yeah.
which I mean is being a doctor
Yeah,
is
no, no, I'm
we're
not
not dissing on
talking yeah,
nurses
I'm
or
not dissing on
doctors.
nurses and doctors. My girlfriend's a nurse. I don't wanna diss.
Yeah, but there's, like it's, like, a 2
It's very
different, like,
different.
situations, like, I
Even though you're
mean
both in the medical field,
yeah,
it's
and
very
you're, like, both
different.
still saving people, but it's,
Mhm.
like, with what you're wanting to do, I'm stuttering. You're gonna be, like, with the soldiers who are, like, getting, like, their arms blown off.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you wanna be, like, in those, like, high stress situations where
Mhm.
it's like a make it or break it kinda.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's, like, a way that you kinda, like
I definitely think that is a factor,
yeah.
definitely.
What about, like are you excited for, like, the traveling part of it? Because I know that, like I don't know about army-wise, but,
Mhm.
like, Navy, like, I know you are literally everywhere in the world.
Oh,
You are
yeah,
stationed at
Navy
so many different
Navy
places.
moves around.
Is it, like, similar like that from the Army?
Oh, yeah, you don't really have much of a choice in the matter where you go. You can talk to your recruiter about it, and they can help you out a little bit, but there's always a chance that you'll end up somewhere crappy. But, I'd like to go to Japan or Hawaii.
Japan would be cool. I had an uncle who was in the Navy, and he went to Hawaii, and, like, my cousins grew up in Hawaii, and they, like, loved
Mhm.
it. I feel like also with that, you could potentially, like, if you had a family,
Yeah.
like, of your own, you could probably also, like, take them to these, like, really cool
Oh,
places,
yeah.
and it would be like an experience that most families, like, wouldn't get, like, living in different parts of the world for
Mhm.
an extended period of time.
Oh,
'Cause,
definitely.
you can always take your family to travel. Like,
Yeah.
I travel a
You can go
lot,
on a road trip.
but, like, actually living in a place where
And
it's not the same as
they don't even speak the same language as you.
even, like, Hawaii is, like, a whole different
Oh,
world
yeah,
over
it's
there.
very different over there.
It's like I think it's, like, a 5-hour time zone difference than
Mhm.
us. So it's, like it's kind of a different world. Are you
It
excited
is.
for, like, that part of it and, like, being able to experience, like I keep saying, like, different parts of the world, but, like, actually truly, like, things that are different than what
Like,
you
yeah, like
know.
the culture. Yeah, I think I'm most excited about experiencing that culture. I'm big food. I eat a lot of food. Not to call myself a big back, but I eat a lot of food. And so I think I'm most excited about trying new food. I'm not gonna lie.
That'll be fun. Going back to, like, the family aspect of it, do you have anyone that in your family that, like, was in the military or, like, contributed to
Mhm.
what you wanting to go into it? Because I know we talked about how,
Yeah.
you like the whole medical part of it, like, that's your big thing that you wanna be in. Was there ever, like, part of, like, your family who's like, "Oh, I was in the military, like,
Yeah.
I wanna do what you did."
So not really. I had a distant uncle, and that was honestly about it. Both my dad and my grandfather wanted to join, but they both had like major injuries. My dad has a messed up like leg. My grandpa, who knows? But of course, my family's wanted to. Most of them couldn't, and so I don't really have like that figure in my life that was in it. But I mean, it was always talked about, and of course, my dad has friends that were in the military. Yeah.
So would you say you were highly influenced by,
Oh yeah.
like, just seeing that?
Oh yeah. Just seeing that stuff, and I mean, I think another big one is I played a lot of video games as a kid.
I would say that's also a big aspect
That
of it because
is.
when not to be, like, a little cringe or anything, but when Top Gun, like, Maverick came out, I
Oh
was like, "Oh,
yeah.
I wanna go to the Navy." Like, I wanna be, like, a fighter pilot. I
Yeah.
couldn't be, but, like, do you think anything like that is, like, an actual, like,
I
really
mean, I
big
mean,
aspect?
I Call of Duty, man. Call of Duty was the
That
crap,
was
man.
ruthless. He was ruthless.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that is a big factor, is that I played that as a kid, and it was always really cool.
Well,
And of
like, when
course,
you're
I know real life isn't like that.
yeah, it's
I'd like to make that saying, but like, yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that.
but you're it's also, like, when you're playing those video games,
Mhm.
even if it's not, like, accurate, like, you are like, a walkthrough of, like, a mission,
Yeah.
you're still getting the general sense of like, "Oh, like, I wanna be like this guy. Like, I wanna be,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so
You
cool, like,
wanna be that
so
guy.
hardcore, like this dude that I'm
You
playing."
you wanna be the guy just walking through buildings, man.
Yeah, like, we're not gonna talk about, like, what they do on that game, but,
Yeah, but walking through
like
buildings.
yeah,
They take strolls through
yeah,
buildings.
just simply. But I mean, it's also, like, when you're watching a show, it's the same thing
Mhm.
kinda, like, even if it's not, like, say, like, military or anything like
Yeah.
that, there's still people who, like, will watch, like, Grey's Anatomy, like, "Oh, I wanna be a doctor
And
now."
no, that is actually a really good example is Grey's Anatomy and, like, becoming a doctor and just other shows like that as well,
Yeah. I think media plays a very large role
in
in
what people wanna do
yeah.
with their lives. I agree.
So do you think part of your, like, high school, like, sculpting was part of, like, you working and you playing sports? Because you did track, and then
Track.
you did esports, and then you worked throughout high school, right?
Yeah, I worked all the way from freshman year to currently, and, I did track, freshman and sophomore year, and, um, esports I did last year, which was also a really interesting experience, it was a really different
Well,
experience.
that's also, like, a newer thing in our
Mhm.
school, at least. Like, I
Yeah.
remember my freshman year, that was, like, kinda, like, just starting.
Oh, yeah. It's a very different thing than what you expect when you're, like, walking into it, and it was weird because like, just a bunch of my friends were like, "Hey, let's do esports."
Like
None of us look like we're, like, these big nerds, you know what I mean? And so we did it, and we enjoyed it. It was a fun thing. It's just like every Wednesday, we'd go in, we'd just play and have fun.
who was the teacher for that?
Grossen's the coach.
Do you think, like, because I know Groson's not, like, the strictest, but
Mhm.
he still, like, expects you to get stuff done. Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
think, like, experiences like that taught you, like, discipline throughout high school? And,
Mhm.
like, knowing what you can do and, like, what you can't in that, like, time period where you're at
Oh,
home
yeah.
and on the weekends?
I think I think the major thing is work. Work definitely helped with that. Having these deadlines for work and being like, "Hey, if I don't do this, I don't get paid," or "If I don't do this, like"